Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. My name is Lucas Dubourg, and I'm excited to guide you through today's session. At Samba Digital, we specialize in creating tailored digital strategies that leverage platforms like WhatsApp to enhance audience engagement and drive value for sports organizations. We are thrilled today to have two exceptional speakers. We have first Manu Barillet, Head of Data and Insights at Samba Digital. Following Manu, we have Mattia Fontana, the publishing manager from Juventus Football Club. Thanks to both of you for being with us today. Before we dive into the presentations, let me give you a quick overview of our agenda for today. We will launch our session by discussing the remarkable potential and benefits of leveraging WhatsApp in sports organizations. Manu will share insights on the current trends and case studies of successful WhatsApp implementations in sports organizations. Following Manu, Mattia will discuss Juventus Football Club's experience and the specific strategies they employed using WhatsApp channels. Last but not least, we will open the floor for questions, so please feel free to submit your queries in the chat through the presentations. We will address them during the Q&A break, as well as at the end of the presentation. Thank you once again for being with us today, and let's get started. Manu, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Lucas, and thank you all for your time and for attending our webinar. So I guess one of the starting point for today is just about a year ago, so WhatsApp released the channels feature globally. They tested it on a few countries first and then released the feature globally about 12 months ago. And I guess with 12 month experience, we've got enough data and perspective today to assess the opportunity for rights holders. And as you can guess, if we're organizing this webinar today, our conclusion from a data point of view, but also from Mattia experience at Juventus point of view, if you're not using it yet, then you probably should be. And if you're not investing enough, in your opinion, in WhatsApp, then you probably should be as well. So just a few data points to start with our funnel and understand the opportunity that WhatsApp is presenting to the rights holders. So WhatsApp has currently 2 billion active users worldwide. It's the third platform in terms of monthly users worldwide. Just below Facebook and YouTube. And 16% of these people consider WhatsApp as their favorite platform. So if you want to take that into account, there's only Instagram ahead of WhatsApp, just in terms of favorite platform. So not only they've got lots of users worldwide, but it's probably not going to change overnight because a lot of people are actually considering them the top platform. But it's not just used worldwide, it's also mainly used by the sports fans. So 2/3 of the sports fans worldwide are using WhatsApp monthly. And if you're looking at their actual usage, there's 55% who are actually using it daily or multiple times a day. So that represents a massive opportunity for you guys. But also, interestingly, whether it's through channels or conversations, private conversation with friends, family, it's also already used a lot by the users to watch and follow sports, more than on the other platforms or just internet. So it's already quite established. And one of the things that we wanted to point out is that I guess one of the key questions as a rights holders is why should you invest in a platform versus another, or prioritize budget, resources, or time on WhatsApp versus another. And I think to convince internally, WhatsApp is already quite a very, very established platform and very used by sports fans. That removes a lot of uncertainty when you're looking at other platforms who are emerging, and you have a lot of question marks whether on the number of users of the users from usage from sports fans. So that should give you quite a lot of answers more than question marks when you are deciding to go on WhatsApp or not going on WhatsApp. if we're looking at WhatsApp coverage worldwide, one of the main thing is that it is vaguely, like it is remarkably used across all the different regions. Um, there's not a single region or country that it covers. It covers all the regions, and as you can see, there are three of the biggest regions that sports rights holders are targeting today, where WhatsApp is actually the number 1 platform in terms of users. So that's the case for Europe, for Middle East and Africa, and for South America, sorry. And if you're looking at the top 10 countries, you can see that in some of the biggest countries and some of the countries that I'm sure your organization is interested in, it covers almost the entire population. Almost all of them are using it at least monthly. So you're not excluding any of the territories or the regions by being on WhatsApp versus another platform. So if we move down the funnel, quite interestingly, when we're looking at the data, I'm sure this will be potentially quite a shock to a few of you. But WhatsApp has actually more users to follow sports than X users or TikTok users. So if you're considering the amount of time and efforts and people within your organization who have been trying to reach fans on X or TikTok through the years. If you're not on WhatsApp, you're probably missing an opportunity. There's about 156 million people using WhatsApp to read articles, news, and watch sports clips. So that's more than X or TikTok. And the second very interesting point is that they are also more likely to follow you, whether you are a team or league or federation or representing athletes on WhatsApp versus other platforms. So that means the efforts you're going to put into WhatsApp will generate a reward and a high reward. And we'll talk about this later as well during the presentation. And then ultimately for this first section, with 12-month experience of the rights holders using the platform, we can already starting to have a look at the results. And quite interestingly, there are a lot of the rights holders, we only selected 3 of them, but there's actually much more than this, who already capitalized on their audience on WhatsApp and are gathering a lot of fans on the platform. And quite interestingly, in our opinion, there's also the growth of it and the speed of it if you compare that against other platforms. So, for example, Real Madrid has more than 60 million followers on their WhatsApp global channel. It was launched only in June 2023, and that's 1.6 more fans than their main X account that they launched 15 years ago. So again, if you're considering time, efforts, and resources, WhatsApp can give you a lot of reward for a limited investment. And similarly, when it comes to the reaction from the fans, the engagement rate is actually quite interesting as well. Most of the time for a similar post across all the different social media accounts, you can probably expect a similar engagement rate as what you are seeing on X. So that's just one of the example from Formula One. But if we're looking at the different content trends, most of the time you'll be closer to what you can expect from X than what you can expect from Facebook. So again, if you're considering the time you're investing on Facebook, that just gives you the potential of the engagement you can get from the fans on the platform. Do we have any questions so far? Any point that you want to add, Mattia, on this one?
No, I feel maybe I will add something later.
Yeah.
Don't want to spoil. Or maybe just on our side, the engagement is a bit different. We see that, but I think it's more related to our market, because maybe in our market X is not as relevant maybe as in the UK market, and we see that we struggle a bit on X in terms of engagement. Why this problem doesn't happen on WhatsApp? and that's very interesting for us about engagement.
Interesting. I guess this is also linked to some of the next slides that we have in the presentation. But if we already convince you with the first few slides on the market opportunity, the second section is more about all the positive sides of WhatsApp when you're comparing it to the other platforms that you're using. And one of the first thing from our point of view when it comes to your digital strategy is just the difference of the feeds. So the WhatsApp channel, if you're already using it, it's super clean, and actually it's quite a relief as a user when you spend a lot of time on the different platforms. Because when you're going through a different, like a specific channel, in this case Juventus, all the content that you're seeing is purely related to Juventus. You're not, I mean, you're not seeing anything else. You're, for the time being, your fans are only here for you, and they're only seeing your content. They're not polluted by anything else, by ads or by contents that they're not really interested in. So there's nothing as feeds or discovery tabs or for you feeds or these kind of things. They're here for your content specifically, at least for the time being, and they are here to have the latest news. So they will find it in just the chronological order. So I guess that's the first point, and for us a very different point than what you can find on the other platform. I think the second thing that we already a bit touched on is the effectiveness of the content strategy and the efforts that you're putting in and the rewards that you're getting. So I kind of, we discussed that internally with a lot of our community managers and strategists, but we kind of all agree to say that WhatsApp is probably right now the best platform in reward versus investment for sports rights holders. And I can see Mattia nodding, because basically you don't need to adapt, or very slightly adapting your content and what you are already producing for the other platforms. A lot of the graphics you have, the regular content trend that you have, can find resonance on WhatsApp. And you don't need to follow specific trends or best practice or trending topics or way to speak, particularly on this platform, to find success on the platform. The graphics you have for match day, the game related, everything that you can see here, that you're already producing, can be very easily adapted and shared on the platform, and you can get a lot of fans and response from your fans. The third point, which is, I think, in my opinion, as like if I was working for Sports Rights Holder, very interesting, is that the engagements and the moderation are very, very easy when you compare that to the platform, because the only way you can interact and get feedback from your fans are with simplified emojis or answering surveys and polls within WhatsApp. So that does not impact negatively your brand when you can see on different platforms some of the comments were unrelated, some of the bots commenting on your posts. So the moderation is very, very simplified, and that saves time and it protects your brand, which is, in my opinion, super important. You can still ask for their opinion via polls, as you can see one of the example in these slides. You can obviously create platform-specific features such as the stickers or audio, and Mattia will talk about what Uwe has been doing. But the fact that is super easy to communicate with your audience make it another advantage for Facebook, for WhatsApp, sorry. And then ultimately, and I think that is probably one of the biggest strengths of WhatsApp right now, is that you can maximize your reach. There's no such thing as an algorithm. So all of your followers, if they scroll up or down, will see all of your posts. It's not related to the performance or anything chosen by the different algorithm and platform. which mean that you can include a lot of different links without damaging your reach. And when we're talking about the links, you can see some of these examples here, but that can be links to articles on your website. I think one of the best case that we've seen in the industry for now has been Formula One. A lot of their posts are driving their fans to the website, and they're boosting their traffic on their website. So we kind of had a look with SimilarWeb, and according to SimilarWeb, there's about 3 to 5% of the social media traffic on the website for Formula One right now that is driven by WhatsApp. And it has increased by 40% between this month and the previous month. So quite considerable achievement for Formula One. You can obviously release ticketing links or merchandising links to sponsorship activations. One of the last thing that I wanted to elaborate on was the links to the longer format and the videos potentially on YouTube. So that's the kind of things that's been used, especially in the gaming and content creators industry for quite a long time, with all their Discord channels to drive their most engaged users to longer format. One of the great thing is that not only it boosts your performance on your longer format directly, because you've got your super engaged audience on WhatsApp clicking and consuming the content, but also it triggers the algorithm, because if all of these super engaged fans are clicking as soon as you release the video and are consuming it and are engaging with the video, then the content will be pushed to a wider audience as well. So by being effective on WhatsApp, you're also boosting the performance on potentially other platforms as well. And ultimately, if I haven't convinced you, if you're not doing it, then some other will be doing it. So you are probably missing an opportunity if you're not on WhatsApp right now. I think one of the main challenger that we've seen is 90 Minutes. So they've created a lot of different accounts related to the clubs, related also to some of the biggest players and athletes that they know are being discussed. So if you're not doing it, probably a lot of other people will be doing it. The last thing maybe that I will mention, and then I'll leave the room to Mattia and also to questions, is that the reality is before global channels, the conversation was already happening on WhatsApp. You were just not invited to the conversation. But during the private conversation with friends and groups and families, people were already discussing and sharing links. It just wasn't, it just was like different links from different platforms. So you were not just part of it. With global channels, not only now you are part of it, but you can also control some of the conversation, and you can be the starting point of that conversation, just because people can forward very easily within the same ecosystem the content that you're releasing to them. So I think that makes it super powerful. And that's it for me. I'll just leave the floor to Mattia now.
Thank you, Manu, for that insightful presentation. Now let's hear from Mattia Fontana. Mattia, can you share your experiences with WhatsApp at Juventus Football Club and how it has transformed your engagement strategy?
Yeah, sure. The first important thing to highlight is the starting point. So as Juventus, we always try to be first movers. We always try to reach a new platform before other competitors. So for us, the competitors are obviously other international clubs. In this case, we are not the best reference, I had to admit, because we were not first movers. And we didn't join the channel as Manu showed you before, like Real Madrid or Manchester City in June 2023, but we just joined July 2024. So a year after the main competitors. And it's not something I'm very proud of, but there were multiple reasons why we were not there at first. And I think we were pretty good in trying to turn this problem into a huge opportunity, because we had more time to study what the other competitors were doing, understanding a bit more of their strategy, if there was any. and trying to establish our best way and shape an original channel. So we said we cannot be the first, but maybe we can be a bit innovators. And I think the results are helping us, thinking we are doing in the right way, because after only 4 months in this platform, we are now the 9th club in the world for number of followers. And we are approaching 6 million followers. And you probably know how difficult it is to grow organically in this moment in social media. And reaching these kind of numbers is obviously huge. But I think it's mostly related to two factors. The fact we obviously have a huge international fan base, and the fact that we didn't only open a new channel, but we tried to shape an original channel, tailor-made and very different to all other channels. So what you're going to see now is very related to what Manu was showing before. So the starting point for us was this graphic and a bit of a competitive analysis. So we try to highlight the top club. This is the number for November 2023, as Manu showed before. Now the numbers are way huger. But we say that we wanted to understand what Real Madrid, because they were the biggest ones, and they are still, were doing on this channel, and as well also our local competitors like Inter, Napoli, and Roma, which were the best ones when we started the situation. Now also AC Milan joined the channel basically when we joined. And as you can see, we tried to highlight some specific topics. The first one is the frequency. So many times the other competitors were posting, and we saw that there were clubs posting a lot, clubs posting not that much. And then the conversion side, which is, as Manu showed, an important factor in when you talk about WhatsApp. So many of them were using links to other platforms on their posts. There were clubs doing everything basically related to a link out, and others maybe like Real Madrid not posting at all, something that was linked into another platform. And then I think that many of you are working in the football around football competitions, so you know how tricky and how engaging is a live match. But we needed to understand if this was the right platform to follow a live match play by play. So with a live minute thing, and we saw that there were clubs doing it minute by minute, and others they don't. And then two other very important thing is, are you posting every day or not? Not every club was posting every day. And the language, I think you don't have to underrate also the language, especially if you are a global brand. In this case, I didn't add Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich. At the time, we studied a bit what they were doing, and Borussia Dortmund were posting with the same account, both in German and English. And I think that helped them a lot, because in that moment, the performances were better than Bayern Munich, that, as you saw now, has opened both an English and a German account. So they have a huge fan base, and they decided to go for that direction. But I think that having an account that posts in two languages in the same post helps. So these were the main key takeaways. And I think we tried to mix what the competitive arena was telling us with the insights coming from Meta. So obviously, as you saw, the quantity is not relevant. And we know it also from Meta, that when you try to convert, when you try to add link, it doesn't kill the performances. Maybe in other social it does. And so we had to consider this factor. Obviously, the fact that Real Madrid were the biggest fan base and they were not using any kind of link, maybe was a lost opportunity for them. So we had to do better. And then, the live match, it's something that I don't think was the key around this social. So we thought that once we would have joined the channel, we wouldn't have go on a play-by-play basis. But the language. So as I was already saying, I think that one of the key in our growth is the fact that we post just once in two different languages, so English and Italian, so our local language and the global one, and that's helping a lot. Then about frequency, we try to listen more to Meta than to our competitors. So we said that we were told that posting every day helps, but at least 3 times a week. So our strategy is to post every day. Obviously, if we have something to say, but let's say that every day we try to find the best way to engage our fans, maybe just with a post. We don't need to do many. And then engagement. What Meta told us that is that once you have a better engagement, you can receive a better placement in the channel directory when people are searching for accounts. And so we focus a lot on engagement from the very beginning. And then we thought that at the end of it, it would have been interesting also to test the drive to traffic and so the conversion side of WhatsApp. Starting from these takeaways, we shaped our channel, and we thought that also in terms of managing the team, that would have been managing actively every day the account. We needed to shape the persona of Juventus on WhatsApp, and we thought that we could have been a good friend of you on WhatsApp. Doesn't text you all the time, every day, and doesn't overflow you with messages, doesn't send you, I mean, if he's a good friend of mine, let's say, it doesn't send you 10 minutes long audio messages. So he knows how to talk to you and to say specific things that you're interested to. And obviously someone you're always in touch with. So you receive texts by him every day because he has something to say to you. So the very important thing for me, also seeing what the competitors were doing, is try to be present every day, but not overflowed users of messages. So not too many messages, because I think the most important and the most underrated thing about WhatsApp is the notification on. Or if you will subscribe today to our account or other accounts, you will become a subscriber of a Juventus account, but you will not receive notification because by default on WhatsApp, the notifications are off. This means that if you subscribe to our channel and I'm sending a new notification, a new post on WhatsApp, you will not receive anything. And we had to find a way to let our users understand that they can turn the notification on. And if they turn the notification on, they will not receive multiple messages and their phone will be vibing all the time. So this is important that we had to explain it in the beginning. And at times we have to remind it to our users that once they subscribe, they should also turn the notification on if they want to really stay in touch with us. And as you can imagine, if we have no insight about it, because Meta still doesn't deliver this, but anyone can understand that if every subscriber has their notification on, the chances to have an higher engagement are way better. If you have many subscribers but many notification off, probably your engagement will be low. So you have to find the right tone of voice to engage your fan base. So the strategy was basically built around the 3 pillars in a timeline. So we were really careful to not force things and not go to the last mile before the right time. The first pillar and the first in the timeline is trying to attract. We wanted to attract our users, so we had to define a strategy very different from our competitors and tailor-made for this social, with a real fan-centric approach. And as Manu was saying before, this is not very effort. It's not a big effort, but you have to understand your fan base and maybe try to engage them with something special, which cannot be premium content all the time, but has to be tailor-made for this social, and obviously focus on the feeling that the fan has in that moment. After that, you have to understand how to convince your followers to stick to this social, to stick to your channel, because another very important insight coming from Meta is the fact that after a while, maybe in the beginning when you join this channel, you will grow easily and fast, but after a while, you will see that you will start losing a bit of your audience. So you have to be really careful about that, and have to give your followers a good reason to turn the notification on and to keep being your subscriber. Otherwise, you can lose them. And then the last mile, which is in a certain way the most complicated one. And in this moment, you know probably that organically it's the most complicated thing on social, but the conversion side. So we wanted to try and test the social because all the insights we had from Meta and other competitors we talked about was the fact that it was a very good way to drive traffic to other platforms, as Manu was showing before. And then the last three things you see highlighted: the language, as already said, 2 languages in one post, and the frequency. So we said that we should post around 15 times a week, and not too many on match day, but try to post every day. And then the last thing, the formats. As you probably already know, the vertical formats are the best. So we try to go for that and not use the landscape format. The attract phase is honestly the most enjoyable one also for the people working on the channel, because every time we try to find new ways to engage our users. And the first thing to start with is trying to have something tailor-made for this channel. So let's say in our ecosystem, this is the only place where you find the stickers, because the WhatsApp is great for stickers. And we also did separate shooting with players when we had the beginning of the season shootings with them, to have stickers we could use during the season. And audio messages. We know that audio messages are used also on Threads and on X, but on our ecosystem, this is the only place where you will find them. And in the first insight I can give you about this is that this is the best performing content. And it could be an audio message coming from a player saying, "Hi, good morning, how are you?" But also an audio message coming from our TV commentator being really, really happy about the goal we scored. And this is something we saw that is overperforming in WhatsApp, and we are pushing a lot on this. And then polls are great. And the engagement, as I was saying before when Manu was mentioning X, for us is way higher here than other social, because honestly it's easy call to action. You just have to press and you will answer. And this is the best way to drive engagement, I think. One very important thing is also that you can try to be creative. When you ask your followers to answer with an emoticon, you can have 2 different kind of emoticons. These are, you can have the safe ones as a presetting, or also open to every kind of emoticon. And you can understand this can have an impact when you're going to post maybe a result of a match that you lost. And so you're going to receive a lot of sad or angry emojis. But if you consider the whole ecosystem, social media ecosystem, obviously it's a very controlled way to have engagement. So it's effortless in a certain way and painless. And about this, we also try to be creative, because especially in the beginning, now Meta is giving us a bit of insights, but are very basic. We didn't know anything about our fan base, so we had to understand a bit more the people we were talking to, and so we decided to add a question where we were asking the people where they were watching our match from, and to answer. And we asked them to answer with the flag of their country. And basically, the engagement was huge on that post, but we received the same insights that now Meta allow us to see. So the geographic and the demographics of the people that are our subscribers and are engaged by our channel. Then the second phase, the convincing part. So now maybe you think that you reached a good number of followers, then you have to convince them to still be engaged by your channel, to still keep the notification on, or to turn them on, and not to move away. So we thought that the best way was not too many posts, not quantity but quality. So we post there not all the news like maybe we do on X, but all the relevant news. So if you are a Juventus fan, you have to follow this channel, because you know you're going to receive sometimes in a bit of advance the most relevant news. So if it's a new signing, if it's an injury, like in this case, the COP-1, and it's a relevant one, you have to post it there. But also on match day, we thought the best way was to have free content. So the starting 11, the result, and the link to our YouTube channel where they would have found the highlights. But we don't want to add too much and to post that much. Also because we saw that the engagement during the match can be with up and downs. But also because in this way you will not overflow your users that probably already know what's happening on the pitch, and they don't need to know that some guy scored. If we do it, if we add something live is something tailor-made. So most of the time is a sticker or maybe just an emoji that our fans understand is related to what happened on the pitch. So it's more complementary than the news. It's more complementary than the actual news, and it's made for our followers to be spread into their chats. Because another very important thing to highlight is the fact that if I now forward a message from the Juventus channel to Manu, as an example, Manu will receive my message, but also the source of my message. So we thought that, especially in the beginning, we needed to focus a lot on engagement and trying to understand which were the kind of posts that our fans would have loved to share with their friends. And that helped us, I think, to grow a lot organically without pushing too much this channel, because our fans are forwarding these messages to their friends, and their friends understand that they can start following us. Then the last mile is the conversion. It's basically what Manu was saying before. I just said two things. We don't post that much in terms of conversion. It's not like the 100% part of our plan on WhatsApp. Let's say that it doesn't go higher than 20%, but it's a good percentage, and it's helping us having a good engagement. So as I was saying before, conversion post don't kill engagement, and it's fine. And most of all, it's helping the website and our YouTube channel. So it's very important for us, this conversion side of WhatsApp. And I have to admit, we started converting way earlier than we expected, because the number of followers we reached were very high since the beginning. The most important thing, I think, around our channel is the moment when we decided to launch. This is not the best moment because we were not the first movers, as I already said. But we decided to launch in the beginning of July, where we knew that we would have been part of the big conversation around the transfer market, and we would have had many announcements during the following 2 months. So we needed to be in a very good moment to let our users start following us. So the first suggestion I can give you is to see what's happening in the next months, understand when it's the right moment, and when you think you're gonna have something big to feed your users. And so for us, these were the most important things. So deciding the right moment, and then I think with the concept for us was trying to find the best way to drive traffic from our ecosystem. And Meta ecosystem helps you a lot in that. And I think that Instagram stories are the best way to let your users move to Instagram, to WhatsApp. The way we found to do that was having some launch content that were starting from Instagram, and mostly Instagram stories, but they were ending on the WhatsApp channel. So maybe we were asking a player a question, and a very funny one, a very curious one, and he was about to answer on Instagram stories. Well, at the end was only on WhatsApp, and they had to click on the link that was appearing on the Instagram stories. Honestly, I have to admit, we plan a lot of content that you see in this slide to activate the channel. but we saw that the channel was booming. So we reached around 1 million followers in a week and around 2 million followers in a month. And now we are approaching the 6 million followers in 4 months. And I have to admit, we didn't push the channel so much. And in this moment, we didn't even post 10 times to activate the channel on Instagram. And we reached this number. So we had a plan, but we thought that the best way was not to push in that much because the followers were already coming. What we're doing now is trying to find the best moment when we see that maybe the growth is not going so fast, because it can happen that in some moments, maybe during the international break of football, the growth is not that huge, and we have to find the right way to push the channel with an IG story link in our WhatsApp channel, or maybe finding moments when our fans already know that something is going to happen on WhatsApp, and maybe we release a sticker pack about a player, and we activate it from WhatsApp. So we just post an Instagram story saying, go to our WhatsApp channel and see all the stickers pack and download it and have it on yours. So there was a huge plan, but in the end, we were lucky not to use it all. So my key learnings after 4 months on this channel are very related to what Manu was saying. So it's not a channel where you have to spend a lot of effort. It's quite effortless, but it's really important to choose the right moment when to go into this channel, because you can have a real boost by that. And the second thing is try to understand your audience. You're not going to receive many insights from Meta, as I said, but you have to test and learn and try to the best way to engage your audience with the creative content that they can find only on WhatsApp. And by that, you will understand a lot, and also the best practice for your own channel. Then I think that after a while, for us, it was quite fast, as I already said. But after a while, you have to understand when to go for conversion, because this channel has a real importance also for that. And our insight in this moment, maybe our X channel is not a very good channel in this moment, but let's say that our conversion is 10 pair compared to X in this moment, obviously inorganic. So I think in this moment, our experience is very good in this channel. And what I see in my team is that they are a big challenge every day to find the best way to engage our users. And this is something that maybe is more established on other platforms. In WhatsApp, everything is new, and maybe new features will be released soon. So it's also nice to see the team very engaged by this.
Thanks, Mattia, for those great insights. Now let's open the floor for questions. Manu, we have one question for you. Do you have any example or study related to national Olympic committees that are also using WhatsApp channels?
Not that I have noticed, to be honest with you. I can easily check, but I think the Olympics are already on there. I kind of remember preparing this webinar, seeing them on the platform. Haven't checked too much what they've been doing, but it's nothing that we can do. Maybe after the webinar, I can have a look and come back to you later.
Yeah, thank you. Another question from Gustavo Porto. So Gustavo has seen a lot of channels growth really quickly, and especially when there is a partnership with an influencer that promote the channel. But when this promotion ends, the channel lost a few users. So how do you get new users without partnerships or promotions?
Maybe I can answer. And yeah, it's a very interesting question, because we feared a lot this thing, also because Meta tells us that you will see a decrease in growth and a decrease of followers after a while. and you have to understand when you're going to peak and when it's going to happen, and be ready to react. In this case, we didn't use any influencer. We just use our ecosystem. So I think that using your ecosystem and meet ecosystem, and I think Instagram story helps you a lot. Also because in terms of followers, now we have around 10% of followers on WhatsApp compared to the Instagram ones. So we still have a lot of potential around that. What I think is that once you have a tailor-made content for WhatsApp and you understand that is working for your fan base, maybe this can be a good appointment for them, and you can use your ecosystem to tell them, oh, look what's happening on WhatsApp, look what's there for you. And we saw that in some moments, maybe when the growth was a bit less than before, we saw that it was helping a lot us to drive new followers to WhatsApp.
Just to complete on what Mattia has said, we don't have much information from Meta. The conversation I had with them is that even they don't have a lot of information on channels. They said it's on their roadmap, but they don't provide a lot of data because themselves they don't have a lot of data. One of the potential information that we have is that if you subscribe to a channel but don't check the messages, don't engage for, I think it's about 3 months, then you're not considered as a follower anymore. So that means that if you're having a lot of tractions and new followers because of an influencer campaign, and then they don't check your messages or anything for quite a long period of time, then that's why you can expect a decrease. So that probably means that they came for one of the reason. I'm not saying it's a wrong reason, but at least one of the reason, and you stop giving them that reason. So either, as Mattia said, you make it about yourself, and give them the right reason to come and to continue coming, or that means that you're probably going to have to do a lot of partnerships with the same people that they came in for in the first place. So I'll for budget reason, I'll probably focus on making it about yourself.
Thank you. Mattia, another one for you. At Juventus, how do you track success? What are your key metrics on WhatsApp?
I think the first one is follower growth, because obviously we wanted to explore the possibility for this to become a relevant channel. So number of followers is the first one, and it's very related to engagement. So the second one is engagement. We try to track it and try to understand, as I was saying before, which is the best content to drive engagement. Because if we drive engagement, we can drive also more followers. And the last one is the click-through rate. We are using Bitly links specific for WhatsApp every time we post a link, and we try to track the performances around that. And so I think in a certain way it gives you the full overview on the importance of this channel. So the numbers of followers that this can add to your ecosystem, the engagement that it can drive. So it's an healthy metric, and it's if it's an healthy social or not. And then also the click-through rate, because it helps also the business and the whole ecosystem.
And you mentioned engagement as a key metric for you at Juventus. Have you noticed any difference of engagement between posting photos and videos?
Yeah, I think maybe you have to consider a wider kind of content when you relate it to WhatsApp. So I think you can also add polls, audio messages, and stickers or GIFs. I'd say that what is more tailor-made for the social works better. So I think that videos are good, but are not the best content in our experience. While we see that audio messages probably are the top, followed by GIFs. Maybe I'd say that GIFs are better than videos. And while photos, photos are very good and are way better than videos. So it's also an important thing we understood on this channel, that maybe it's more important to be quick and do the right thing at the right time than trying to find the best way to do it, like maybe we do on Instagram, where we try to have a premium treatment on Reels, let's say. And maybe I saw a question coming in Italian from Federazione Italiana Pallavolo. I can answer in English if you want,
Yeah.
and I can translate.
Please go
So the
ahead.
question is a very good one, because it's a problem we faced and we have to be creative. So the question is, how can you do audio messages on WhatsApp? In this moment, the solution we found is not the best one, but it's working. So we basically record the message on the mobile connected to WhatsApp channel live, and we post we play the audio content from a laptop, and we try to be a very silent space, because in this moment you cannot upload an audio sound. So it's not perfect. I really believe, and I want to believe that Meta will improve that. But in this moment, I think it's the best way to do that, and to keep pushing on that, because it works.
Thank you, Mattia. We have one question for you, Manu, regarding the users that are not opening the channels through a certain time. So are they automatically deleted or unfollowed?
In theory, that's what happens. Myself, I've only started to follow channels a few months ago, so I'll see what happens. But in theory, that's what's happening. Or if they keep following you, at least they're not counted as follower, and probably they will come back counted as follower if they click back on your channel.
All right. Maybe last question from Austin. So in esports, we are one organization in multiple different games. So we are exploring doing more splits on X, for example. Do you see a benefit of having multiple channels?
My experience with esports is that, I mean, I don't have the detail and which organization we're talking about, but in most cases, the audiences are very limited to a specific video game. So you've got clashes sometimes, but you don't have a lot of overlaps depending on the games you are working on. So, for example, the Counter-Strike community probably hate the Valorant community. So depending on the games you are on, I would probably recommend having different channels per video game. And if you've got users interested in different video games of your organization, they will probably follow the different channels. And related to what Mattia has been saying, it's probably easier in that way to maintain a relatively low number of posts, because if you multiply the video games and the number of competitions and games and info, then obviously you're gonna have to cover all of them. So that means a lot of different posts. So because of the audience and the number of posts, I'll probably recommend having different channels.
Thanks, Manu. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you all for joining us today. The presentation will be shared with the attendees after the webinar. If you have any further questions or would like to discuss how Samba Digital can assist you, please don't hesitate to reach out, and we look forward to connecting with you soon. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.